pursuit of the championship continues in Mexico City. A destination that pulses with energy and life. A stage framed by history, fueled by adrenaline.
The reigning champion Max Kuhne makes his return. Who will challenge him? That is the big question. Who challenges 2024 LGCT champion Max Kuhne in 2025? Max, welcome. Who challenges you in 2025?
My horses. My horses will challenge me.
Your horses will challenge you. Max, welcome to the show. Welcome to Mexico City. This is the second stage of the Longines Global Champions Tour, and we are excited to get the show underway with the man of the moment, the man of 2024, the man who was bigger and better and stronger and faster and clearer than the rest of them, the champion of 2024. What a lovely way to open up the show. Max, how has the end of the season been to coming into 2025? How has that been for you?
Yeah, very good to start here in Mexico. I love the show. It's a fantastic ambience and fantastic show, really good conditions for the horses. So happy to be here.
What has 2024 taught you now coming into 2025? What were some of those big lessons maybe you can take out?
Yeah, 2024 was a big year with the Olympics, with the win of the LGCT overall, which was a little bit a small revanche. And yeah, it was a big year, a lot of happening. And now we look forward to 2025. And I have some good horses in the stable. And yeah, really excited about the coming year.
Let's talk about that, because if I remember, it may have been as early as stage 3 that we identified you last year as one of the real threats, one of the real title contenders because of that firepower that you had. I wonder now from 2024 to 25, can you talk to us about any changes in the stable? Are we expecting those same brilliant horses to now be a year older and a year more experienced? Have there been some changes? What does Max Kuhne's firepower look like in 25?
We were very lucky that we have most of my fantastic horses back for 2025. So there is Electric Blue, there is EIC up to Chaco Blue, there is EIC Cooley Jump the Q. It's EIC Julio Caesar, who is coming up, who had a very good indoor season. EIC Anton just turned up and did his first Grand Prix.
Very good as well when we saw him for the first time.
Also a fantastic horse. He's sold. He will show his talent somewhere else.
Okay.
But I think EIC Dalube, I had him here on the other class, not in the Grand Prix yet, but it's also very promising. I have a new horse to ride who was out now for 2 years, who already won 5-star shows. Very excited about this one.
Wow, Max,
I will show you later. So I'm in quite a lucky position.
What a position to find yourself in. How do you go about selecting who you have where? Because for some riders who may have 1 or 2 top horses, the selection becomes quite simple. You wake up and you say it's this one or it's this one. When you have, like you do, 3, 4, 5, can you talk to us about a selection process? What does it look like before you come to a stage? How do you judge it? How do you decide?
That's indeed something I spend quite a lot of time on. The plan for 2025 is already ready at the end of 2024. So we start to plan. Usually we look that each horse has something between 12 and 15 shows, not more, the ones who jump these big classes. And then we look on the horse and how the horse likes it most. Some horses like to jump a little bit more in a roll and then have a longer rest. Other ones are happy to jump all 3-4 weeks. And yeah, then we look how to train them up to get them into the rhythm. Then we look on the shows, which horse prefers which shows. Do they prefer grass shows? Do they prefer sand arenas? Do they prefer big rings? Do they prefer small rings? Which fences do they prefer?
It feels like a game of chess at each stage. Is that almost a good description? Because it feels like you wake up for the stage. Where are we going? We're going to Mexico City. It's a giant grass ring. Who are my horses that are good on grass? Who is fit? Who is looking well? Then we go somewhere else. It feels like it's a constant game of chess.
Yes, exactly. It's exactly about that. And the most important is that my whole team and me, that we really get to know the horses. We need to know exactly what they like most, what we have to work on, what is the best preparation for them, and all these thoughts have to come together to deliver a good result.
Are you able to describe how demanding it is for someone to win an LGCT championship? Because this is a very difficult competition to win. You have to have a lot of horsepower, you need to have a lot of strength, a lot of ability, but people might not realize the amount of time and sacrifice, energy, etc. How demanding is it to truly go all the way in a title race like this?
Yes, it's for sure demanding because it's a title over a whole season with a lot of results. So consistency is very important. Have consistently good jumping horses over a whole season, and therefore we can't push too much. You know, it has to go in an easy way, and the easy way has to be good enough.
Yeah.
I always say, if we win something or if we have a good result with 70–80%, it has to work. We should not ask for more.
Okay.
You know, it has to go in an easy way.
All right, good lessons to learn. Listen, you're very late to go today, so I hope that it's a good positive omen for the 2024 champion to return. It's great to have you back in the studio, Max. We wish you all the best for today and for the season ahead and that wonderful stable that you have. And I think we might be seeing you a couple more times in the studio throughout the year.
Hope so. Thank you, Mark.
All right, Max Kuhne joining us live in studio. What a way to open up the show with a 2024 defending LGCT Grand Prix winner of the season, Max Kuhne, who sounds like he has a lot of firepower and will once again be a major, major threat. As we get ready for Mexico City in 2025, let's remind you as to what took place in the opening stage in Doha, Qatar.
Delighted to welcome you to the 17th edition of the Longines Global Champions Tour here in Doha, the Grand Prix. Daniel Deusser comes now rattling down to the final fence. A little set down. Oh, that was brilliant. The Saudi Arabians can barely bear to watch, understandably, as their man Abdurrahman Al-Raji and Ventago. Ventago now has got to go for broke down to the final fence, 39.52 to beat. He will be just outside, but it's a great effort once again. But now Abdul Said comes in. Bonami sets sail down to the last fence, and Abdul Said has got this, I think, by the scruff and collar. He goes down to the final fence. This will be a win here. It's magnificent.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, I can't explain the feeling. I'm so proud of my horse. She's an incredible horse. We were working on getting faster and faster. She wasn't super consistent in jump-offs. I tried to use her qualities, and I guess I got lucky.
What a night that was for Abdel Said, winning in Doha the opening stage of the 2025 season. But that was then, and this is now. We go from the giant sand ring in Qatar to this giant grass ring here at the Campo Marte in Mexico City for stage 2. We've already seen the defending champion, Max Kuhne. We'll talk to many other riders throughout the day to get their thoughts on what is being put together here for the second stage. But before we talk about any of the jumping, any of the riding, for anyone that has never had the absolute pleasure of traveling to Mexico, to be here in Mexico City, we always use these words of culture, color, energy, atmosphere, food, people. Those are the words that you would use to describe Mexico City. So let's catch up with Rosie Turner for the first time here today on the LGCT Grand Prix Day and find out a little bit of that magical Mexico feeling.
Welcome to Mexico City, the second stage of the Longines Global Champions Tour, and one of the most highly anticipated, not just for the world-class jumping, but for the pure entertainment that we have all around us. We might look like we're in a show jumping arena right now, but you don't have to look very far to see the incredible culture that is celebrated here in Mexico. And this is just one of the reasons people love coming here.
It's our first time. Everything has been amazing. The organization, the people, our Mexican culture, been amazing.
It's great to see all the culture of Mexico, Guanajuato, and all Veracruz, and everything, the music and the people. It's great.
I love it. And also, there are a lot of people and music and drinks and, of course, the horses.
I think everything's spectacular over here. The horses, having all the people over here and come and see our culture is the best thing we can have here.
I love the horses, I love the animals, and I want to see all the shows, all the folklore of Mexico.
You can't help but love this and join in. This is what it's all about. We love joining in, we love the party, and we love the jumping. We've got it all here in Mexico. And it's not just the fans that love this show. I mean, these two, of course, but also our riders.
The very warm and open people that welcome us, unbelievable.
Because it's Mexico.
It's a fantastic show, a lot of people. You really have the feeling everybody really enjoys our sport behind all the riders here. Doesn't matter where they come from. And yeah, we enjoy the weather as well, and fantastic venue.
Amazing atmosphere. It's for me one of the best shows in the world.
And last but not least, we come to the shopping village where you can buy almost anything. We've got clothing, we've got jewellery, we've got sunglasses, candles, and even kitchen utensils. There really is something for everyone. But let's not forget, the LGCT Grand Prix has a whopping prize money of over €700,000. Focus will be at an all-time high.
Thank you very much to Rosie, and thank you to the people of Mexico City for turning up and giving this energy, giving this feel, this atmosphere, this vibe here today. But the point that Rosie made as well was the prize money that's up for grabs here today. As much as we want to joke about the food and the culture and the atmosphere, we need to remember that this is a major, major stage on the Longines Global Champions Tour. Big prize money up for grabs, a golden ticket to the playoffs at the end of the year in Prague as we return to the Czech Republic in 2025. But there is no denying that one cannot come to Mexico and not enjoy the color, the atmosphere, and the feels as well. One of Mexico City's own, Carlos Hencarero, if you recall, in 2024, jumped his way into 4th place on the LGCT Grand Prix last year. He is a fan favorite, and he will, without a shadow of a doubt, receive the largest reaction from the audience here today. We took some time to catch up with the Mexico City local boy to see how Carlos Hencarero is feeling ahead of today.
Yeah, it's always amazing to come back here. For me, it's obviously one of the best dates on calendar, and one of the most important for me and my team. We always try to put a lot of priority on this week and try to get here in the best form we can. For sure, last year gave us amazing memories, and we're just trying to build on that this year and try to make them even better.
To those who don't know, remind them why Campo Marte is so special to you.
Yeah, I grew up actually 5 minutes away from here, so it's really my hometown. Every relative that you can imagine and friend come out here to support this week, so it's very special, and I've had some good years here. I had my first ranking class win ever here, I think when I was 15 in one of the first editions, so always a very special memory. And then last year I had a very good Grand Prix here as well, so yeah, really good memories.
And as a rider who travels so much, to be able to come back here and experience that energy, the love of the crowd, what does that do for you when you're in the ring?
Yeah, I'm not home here very often actually, so it's very special to come back. The crowd here is unbelievable. I think everyone really can feel the difference. Many other venues are also very amazing and spectacular, but the crowd I think here is very unique. And for us hometown riders, they really push us, and they really give everything when we enter the ring, so it's a special feeling.
You have the wonderful privilege of being able to make different decisions based on who you want to have in that Grand Prix. Where is your mind sitting now?
Yeah, like I said, we always make this a very important weekend in our calendar, so I decided to bring my 2 best horses right now. They've both jumped a few 5-star Grand Prix successfully. So I have the privilege that I can get to decide still tomorrow. I'm going to ride them in the morning and still see. Portos obviously was very good here last year, so I'm keen on riding him. But my other Grey Gelding, Shack Attack, has been unbelievable this whole season, and yesterday he felt really good out there. So I still get the night to think.
Best of luck for the LGCT Grand Prix.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys.
So the update there is that Carlos Ancorero has decided that Shack Attack is going to be the horse of choice. That is who he will come out and compete in today's LGCT Grand Prix. The local favorite, fourth last year in 2024. Can he then improve on that now in 2025? We've decided, in case you are new to the Longines Global Champions Tour, this can get complicated. This can sometimes be confusing. A lot of riders, a lot of stages, a lot of points, a lot of rules. Well, we thought let's get a special guest to come into the show and speak to us about how exactly the Longines Global Champions Tour works, give you a better understanding of what a season actually looks like.
Hi, I'm Natalie Dean. Welcome to the Longines Global Champions Tour, the ultimate individual challenge. In 2025, the Longines Global Champions Tour has over 36 million euros in prize money on the line, setting the stage for an intense season of competition. Spanning 16 incredible destinations, the LGCT travels across the globe, culminating in ultimate showdown at the GC playoffs in Prague. To claim the championship title, riders earn points in every LGCT Grand Prix throughout the season. At each stage, 40 riders qualify to compete for the LGCT Grand Prix. A win means a massive 40-point haul, and every rider who competes adds to their total. But here's the game changer. Only our best 8 results count for the overall championship standing. The rider with the most points at the end of the season is crowned the 2025 Longines Global Champions Tour champion. And there's more. Each LGCT Grand Prix winner earns a golden ticket to the LGCT Super Grand Prix in the GC playoffs in Prague. With 1.25 million euros up for grabs in the LGCT Super Grand Prix, that golden ticket is what we're all chasing. Join us on GCTV for the ultimate individual challenge.
Natalie Dean giving us a wonderful explainer of how the Longines Global Champions Tour season actually works. And one of the most important changes that we've seen take place to the rules from 2024 to 2025 is now the fact that each and every LGCT Grand Prix will contain 40 riders. In 2024, there were always 40 riders competing in an LGCT Grand Prix, but for whatever reason, if one of those riders decided to pull out, that race would have then been competed with 39 riders, 38 riders, 37 riders. However, a rule change now in 2025 means that if a rider does pull out, they will go to the 41st qualified rider, the 42nd qualified rider, to make sure that there is always the 40 best of the weekend competing in the major class, and that is the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. Now, in that scenario here this weekend, Sasha Newgard-Lill thought she had not qualified for the Grand Prix, but because some riders had pulled out, she now has earned herself a spot in today's event. So we decided to catch up with Sasha Newgard-Lill to get her thoughts on the surprise inclusion in today's LGCT Grand Prix.
Sasha, because of this new rule, you now are jumping in the Grand Prix. You are our 43rd rider. When did you find out that you now would be jumping?
Yesterday evening after the jump off. Actually, our plan was not to jump the jump off if I already knew that I was jumping the Grand Prix. But it was not sure at that point, so we just said, yeah, doesn't matter. We go for it yesterday, and then still hope to get in the Grand Prix. And yesterday evening they called me and said, you're in.
What were your initial feelings when you were told you're in?
I felt amazing. I think I was really disappointed that I was not qualified because I had a bit tough start on Friday, and all this long way and this amazing show, I was really disappointed that I was not allowed to jump, so I felt fantastic when they called me yesterday.
As a combination, you did win the 150 yesterday. He's a phenomenal horse. He's only 10 years old, yet he's so experienced.
Yeah, I know him really well. I have him since he's 7. He's a special horse and he has a sensitive character, so I learn something new about him every day and every show. Yeah, he's jumped a few 160s now, but I'm still adjusting a few things also with the boot and the bid and everything, so hopefully everything will work out today.
Going into today then, yesterday you did win. Your jump off yesterday was rapid. You were incredibly fast. If you do go clear around today, do you think you have a good chance of actually coming out on top or podium?
Yes, I think when I actually get to jump off, he's a really fast horse and he's so good in a jump off, and he's so comfortable to sit on in a jump off because you know that you can really go and he comes back straight away when you want to go back, and he turns good. So if I'm at that point, I think I have a pretty good chance.
It's a big prize money this weekend as well. How much do you want this?
I really want it.
We wish you the best of luck. Well, good luck.
Thank you so much.
From the disappointment to the wonderful, wonderful excitement of now being given the opportunity to compete in today's LGCT Grand Prix, Sasha Nugard-Lille has now qualified and will be the second rider to go. Jur Frieling, much the same, will now be the first man to go in today's LGCT Grand Prix. But the big question is, what are the riders going to face inside this absolutely enormous Carpo Marte ring? As you can see behind me, course walk officially underway. You have an idea as to what that is? Well, the riders, before each and every class, will walk the course. They will quite literally walk from fence to fence to fence and measure the distance between those fences. Then when they are riding their horse, they will use those measurements to know when to take off, when to land, and when to approach the next fence. This is a crucial, crucial element to the success of any show jumper. The big question now is, what are they going to be faced with? Well, Rosie Turner caught up with our course designer, Anderson Lima, here in Mexico City.
Well, a man that's got a very big job this weekend of course building is Anderson Lima. You are our course designer this weekend. First of all, how did you get into course designing?
Well, long story. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. It's always a pleasure to be in Mexico designing, especially it's my first time doing the GCT Mexico. How do I start? Long ago. I was about 14 years old. I come from a horse family, and I always have shows at home, and it was I just built up and ended up going to helping the course designers when I was younger, and my first course I did I was about 16 years old, and from that time to today, that's pretty much what I have done my whole life.
So you're definitely a professional at this, you've done it for long enough. So,
100%, yes.
So where do you start? When you're about to design a course, just give us the starting position of that and how you actually get to that stage.
Blank piece of paper. A blank piece of paper. Okay, today you have different technologies, but I'm kind of old school. I love design by hand.
Okay.
So today I don't use the paper and the pencil, but I use the screen and the pencil, electronic pencil. So I start drawing everything by hand, and then you go for the technical aspects. Speed class or a jump off or two faces, and then you start to put some ideas, and that go to end up being these.
So give an example then with the Grand Prix coming up. How do you get requirements that you have to have into the jump?
Yes, so 100%. We have tomorrow's Grand Prix is 1.60 m, and we have a minimal requirements for it. Some jumps need to be at a certain height, triple combination and a double at least, or two doubles. Tomorrow we go just a triple and a double. Had a minimum amount of jumps and a maximum amount of jumps. You have to use two Liverpools, you have to use a triple bar or a skinny or a plank. So it's many different requirements, and then we try to englobe that all in the course.
So with that then, how do you make sure that the course is difficult enough for the Grand Prix, but not impossible?
That's a good question. That's a fine line that we try to pretty much get there to that we have that amount right of clear rounds to have a nice jump off. Okay, we're humans. Sometimes we
can get it wrong. Sometimes.
We can get it wrong. But after analyzing the week, you have an idea what they have been jumping, and then you try to get the right course for the right class and for the crowd. We just want to make a unbelievable sport.
How nervous do you get watching?
Like no breakfast, no lunch, and
really?
No, yes and no. I think this is just. I think as soon as I see one horse jumping, that goes away, but just like a instantly. I just want to make sure that the horses are fine and the right. And the course is, it's the right course for the right task. So, and as soon as I see one horse going around and it's rideable and no struggling and it's a fair course, but for sure I do get nervous. Yes, and all the butterflies and stuff like 100%. Yes.
Well, you've got a big job this weekend, Anderson. Thank you so much for chatting to us. That is our course designer here in Mexico. He's got a big job on his hands, and we look forward to seeing what he's produced for the Grand Prix.
Just think about how challenging that balance needs to be for Anderson Lima and for all the course designers on the Longines Global Champions Tour. The course needs to be hard enough to challenge the best riders in the world. But the complication now comes in that these course designers are well aware that they need to make it competitive. Obviously, a nice big jump-off makes it exciting for the fans too. You need to keep the horses in mind always. They are the first priority. And all of those factors have to go into consideration as to how you want to build, what you want to build, and what it's going to look like at the end of the day. Let's talk to our first rider of the show then. Well, that's a lie. We have Max Kuhner, in fact. Let's hear from Jérôme Guéry having some reaction to what has been built by Anderson Lima, the course designer today. Rosie?
Yeah, thank you, Mark. As you said, Jérôme Guéry alongside me now. You've had a chance to have a look at this course. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a massive course, but we knew it before that it will be big today. But like we can see during the weekend, all the horses jumped really well. The ground is so nice, then the horse fly on this arena. That's why today we jump big, but I think we will have a few clear.
You won this back in 2019. Can you compare this to that course then? Is this a lot bigger?
No, I don't think it's bigger. It was already bigger. It was already big at that time. But we know when we come here, we jump big, and it's tough class. But we love this show, and I'm really excited to compete today.
Great Britain's also been jumping phenomenally all weekend. Does that give you faith that today might go your way?
I hope, yeah, he was amazing all the week. That I hope today it continue on the same way. That's few jumps for him difficult, but I will try to manage the best for him.
Which ones do you think are most difficult for him?
We have Liverpool there, wide vertical, and the Liverpool under. It's quite massive vertical. Also the line with the triple, with the plank, and then after vertical, the middle of the triple, it's a massive hoxer. Then I have to ride well.
Let's say you do get into the jump off then. What does the jump-off course look like? Are there lots of choices you can make to pick up speed?
Honestly, I didn't walk the jump-off yet, but I'm doing now. But sure, it will be a fast jump-off.
We wish you the best of luck. I'll let you carry on walking it. Thank you, Jérôme. Mark, those are the thoughts of Jérôme Guéry as he goes into this LGCT Grand Prix. It's going to be a big one today.
Thank you very much, Rosie Turner. Thank you very much to Jérôme Guéry as well. A course walk, as we say, officially going on behind us now with the riders measuring each and every single one of those strides. What do the current rankings look like on the LGCT season after stage 1 in Doha, in Qatar? What does it look like now coming into Mexico City? We know the winner of the first LGCT Grand Prix of the year, Abdel Said, will lead. Daniel Deusser just behind him. Marcus Eining looking good in 4th. Jean Sadran finds himself in 6th. Dennis Lynch here today can make up some big championship points. Simon Delestre failed to qualify. He finds himself in 8th. And Sophie Hinners, who, if you recall, had an outstanding run in the 2024 LGCT season, now finds herself inside the top 10 after that strong showing in Doha. But that gives a wonderful opportunity to these 40 riders here today to earn some crucial championship points, to try and climb as high up as possible on that overall ranking. That becomes the big question. Let's get some more reaction. We heard from Jérôme Guéry. Back to Rosie Turner. Let's get some more thoughts of some of the riders here today in Campo Marte. Rosie.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I think the thoughts of the riders is that this is a big Grand Prix. Edu, great to have you here again. What are your thoughts on this Grand Prix?
Well, it walks big, technique and tough, some big jumps and long lines with yeah, a lot of jumping today with 14 jumps. So yeah, I think it's going to be a beautiful track and we're going to have a beautiful sport, but we have to wait to see how we can do it.
It's going to be tough today. This is line 12 to 13 that you said you'd walk with us. So just tell us while we walk it why this is such a difficult line.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
as we're walking this. Edu's just counting the strides as we go. So every 4 strides of ours is 1 stride of a horse. Of course, that totally changes depending on the horse that you've got, whether they're a long striding horse or a short striding horse. Those strides can change slightly. So Edu, how many strides is that meant to be?
Well, it's such a bending line that you have options. Normally, I think mainly all the riders are going to try to do 8 just to keep the rhythm. And especially at the end of the course, the horses, they can be a little bit more tired. So just to, not to make them more efforts adding strides. But okay, every rider knows his horses, and they need to do what is best. I think I'm going to try to do the 8 with mine. Then I know that from 13 to 14, it's going to be a steady 5. But I think it's the option I have to do.
Is your horse quite a big striding horse?
Well, I can do both, but especially at the end of the course, he's going to be a little bit in the rhythm and with a big step at this time of the track. So I think I need to do the 8 and then steady 5 for the last one.
When you're looking here, so if you're taking off from here, this is quite a flimsy fence as well, and it's very narrow, and you're aiming for the next one, which is an oxer. When you land off this fence, what rhythm do you want to be? Do you want to be pushing them or just holding them back slightly?
Well, here in front of number 13, we have a little bit forward distance, and then from 13 to 14, it's short 5. So we need to give the space enough for 13 so they can jump. It's a tricky vertical, bit narrow with big wings. And then as soon as we land, we need to collect and try to make them work a little bit in the short 5.
Should we walk it quickly? Let's have a look at it very quickly. If we come around here, this is a very narrow fence, and of course you can't expect an LGCT Grand Prix to be easy, but this definitely looks tough today. So as we land here, Edu's going to walk the rest of this course for us. You're also aiming at this point into the crowd as well, into the final bit, away from home. Tired horses away from home. This could be a really tough ask.
Yeah, sure. It's especially at the end of the course. It's short distance and then a big, massive oxer, quite wide into the corner. And I think also today everything is gonna turn out for the horses. Like the heat, the altitude we are here, and also the tough track and technique. So we have to try our best.
With such a big arena, how quickly do the fences come up to you? Because I know in a smaller arena it can feel like they come incredibly quickly. In a bigger arena, does that make it somewhat easier? You have a bit more time to think?
Well, normally, yes, you have more space between the jumps. That also makes it a little bit more difficult when we have long lines like 8, 9, or even no strides line. The horses, they get a little bit distracted, especially in rings like this with so many crowd and so many decoration. No, in the ring we have all the funny things around, thematic things from Mexico. Then the horses, they can also get a little bit distracted with that. But okay, we have experienced horses, and yeah, we have to keep the rhythm and concentration the whole track.
We wish you the best of luck. I'll let you carry on walking the course. Thank you for chatting us today, Mark. Those are the thoughts of Edu Asner. This is going to be a really tough course, as we've said. I've spoken to a few more of the riders as well, and they've all been walking the lines a little bit more than usual. Whether that's because this is a really tough Grand Prix, or if you look at the prize pot, they all want it today.
It's all up for grabs, Rosie. Thank you very much, Eduardo Alvarez Aznar. We know that he had a really, really good showing here in 2024. So now the Spaniard looking to come to Mexico City and hopefully get his hands on a golden ticket really, really early. If you remember, for how long of the 2024 season, Eduardo Alvarez Aznar was a championship contender. He started beautifully. Maybe this now is going to be the start of a 2025 challenging season, or a title challenge at least, for Aznar later on this year. Depends how things go for the Spaniard. Thank you for joining us here in Mexico City. Campo Marte is the venue, and we are on the doorstep of the second LGCT Grand Prix of the year. Following the success of Doha, we now find ourselves here in Mexico for the second Longines Global Champions Tour stop in the 2025 season, as we give you a ticket to travel the world with us. From Doha to Mexico, we're off to Shanghai, then to Madrid throughout the rest of the year. So many more iconic stages, so many more iconic locations that are all available for you through the Longines Global Champions Tour. So take that ticket, come and see the world with us, come and be a part of this incredible show, this incredible series, and we hope that you will join us each and every stage of the way. The weather is shining, the sun is absolutely booming, and we're ready to kickstart today. The music, the mariachis, can you hear them? That's a beautiful aerial shot of Campo Marte as we stand by and look at this enormous grass ring. All of the entertainment, all of the action, and it is finally ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Mexico City underway.
A very good afternoon, everybody. This is the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Mexico City. It's a wonderful occasion of global sport in this bustling hub of Latin America. 22.5 million people are inhabitants here. We've had a superb week, but this is the highlight of the entire show. Welcome to the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Mexico City. We will be in for a spectacular afternoon. This is Campo Marte, this is our 8th edition, and it's named after the Roman Campus Martius, the field of Mars. Mars was the god of war and agriculture was his patronage, and we are set for a brilliant afternoon. This facility used by the military and government here in Mexico, as well as hosting equestrian events, such as this. And it is also the base for the presidential guards of Estudo Mayor Presidencial here in Mexico. It's been a stunning few days here. The weather's been perfect. The crowds have been massive. It's been bustling. It's been jostling. There's been a fantastic atmosphere. And the riders reckon this is one of their favourite shows on the entire Longines Global Champions Tour. These are the former winners. The defending champion, his twin, will start. Olivia Philipparts this afternoon. David Will and Ludger Beerbaum, 22 and 23, and Mila was Ludger's ride in 2022, and she will come in Nadia Peter Steiner's hands later today. Jerome Guéry, he'll also start today, won in 2019, and Scott Brash sadly absent. He was the winner here in 2018, and 2 previous editions. Martin Fuchs won it in 2017, and the inaugural edition went to Roger Riposte, the brilliant Frenchman, with Claude Coeur de la Loge. So this is our 8th edition, and it is spectacular to have you alongside for this incredible Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Mexico City. Well, 4 weeks ago, the battle went down to the wire. It was just 0.28 of a second that separated Abdul Said, who won for Belgium with Bon Ami in Doha. Daniel Deusser came very close with Gangster van Het Nodeveld, and a superb third for Abdulrahman Al Raji, his first podium on the Longines Global Champions Tour with Ventago for Saudi Arabia. Edwina Tops-Alexander, she was 11th and will start this afternoon, as will Dennis Lynch, who was 6th in Doha, as will Julien Coutin. Again, he had a good placing. He'll come later with full dollar de Reigade for France. Umbrellas are out because it's a hot afternoon. We can't wait to get this Grand Prix started. The prize purse is huge at €720,000, and a quarter of that will go up to our champion. €180,000 is the winner's check. As we take you around the course now, Anderson Lima, our designer from the home nation. This is his very first Longines Global Champions course he's put together, and we take you around the track. It's a huge arena, doesn't typically yield many clear rounds over the former 7 editions. 160 the max height, and this the opening fence, the GNP Ox, so 148 by 150. They wheel left-handed into a very big Mercedes-Benz Oxer at 2. Down then on 7 strides to 157 tall vertical Palacio de Hierro at 3. Right-handed back to 4, the Liverpool 160 tall. That is a GNP jumping fence. And then they'll come down to this huge 2-meter wide Guitars triple bar at 5. And 4 strides to a very tall 162 tall Dolls vertical. This turn will be all important, the first of the two combinations. 7A into the double, 152 by 160, one stride on 8 meters and 10, down to a 157 to a vertical. On the flank, there'll be a lot of activity there from our spectators. And then they'll run down 7 strides to the, again, very big oxer over water. That is fence number 8, 154 by 165 is the width. They then turn left-handed. As you can see, that is going to be a huge effort after the first technical combination at 7A and B. Left-handed into the plank that is big. It's 162 to the Banorte plank. It's unforgiving. And then it's going to be a 7-strided right-handed dogleg down to the Longines treble. That is going to be 157 in, 1 stride to a big oxer in the middle, 160 wide. And then 2 strides down to the 158 to a vertical at 10C. That will be a serious line, you know it. They then turn left-handed back to the Prague playoffs vertical, fence number 11, where we will go in November later this year. That is 161 tall, and this in effect the home turn, but 3 fences still to tackle. Fence number 12, the GCT, the Longines Global Champions Tour Oxa, 153 by 160. They then spin right-handed into this huge, skinny, it's 163 taller vertical, and 5 strides after that really big late vertical, which will be, I think, highly influential down to the final fence. That is 14, the GNP Oxa, 170 is the width, and that man is our lead designer, Anderson Lima. He'll be rewalking his distances just to check everything is as he instructed his course team. And we take you down the list here. It's going to be 40 combinations and 19 nations represented. Ines Joly, she won the Monaco leg of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. That was with Ambassador Z last year. And Duarte Seabra has got a very good horse, Dorados the second, the one for Portugal. Natalie Dean looked very good in the GCL. She jumped to clear for Can Stars with her outstanding Akota M. And Olivia Philipparts, he won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Stockholm City with that horse H&M Miro. Jana Vargas was the best to qualify in Doha, did not come off for her in the Grand Prix. We hope for better fortunes. Mila, former champion, as I said earlier, won it in 2022. Jana Sprayer, I think one of the favourites. It's her debut on the Global Champions Tour. Here with us today, Sprayer hot easy. And Katrin Romberg has looked immaculate all week. She had the win with the Shanghai Swans. Max Kuhner was a season champion here. EIC coolly jumped the queue that well with the Global Champions Tour back in 2024. Max will be one to watch, and Jérôme Guéry, he won this class in 2019 with Kellum de Hoos. Just some we pick out, but it's anybody's game this afternoon. It's an open field, and I think trying to win any prediction battle with your friends would be a fool's mission. It is wide open, and delighted to have your company here in Campo Marte for the second leg of the 2025 Longines Global Champions Tour season. This the scene, and the walkways jam-packed. Everybody wants the best seats in the house. We've had a spectacular 4 days of sport here. The hosts have been brilliant. We must say a big thank you to the organising committee, the president, that is Francisco Pascual, president of the Longines Global Champions Tour, which now celebrates its 19th season. Thank you to Jan Tops as ever. These are the alebrije, the traditional Mexican arts and folk culture. They're papier-mâché, they decorate the Campo Marte in electrifying form. They are spectacular. The entire team here, every detail has been attended to, no stone unturned. And welcome to the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Mexico City.
Pues aquí comienza el Gran Premio Longines Global Champions Tour de México presentado por GNP Seguros. Una prueba que tiene 40 participantes, prueba con desempate al que accederán los separados a puntos para el primer puesto, normalmente los que hagan 0. Vamos ya con la primera participante de la prueba, Amazona danesa, que ayer, por cierto, ganó una prueba aquí en Campo Marte con este mismo caballo. Un gran caballo,
Well, the first to go enters the heat of battle, and Jörg Vrieling will be our trailblazer this afternoon in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Mexico City. Jörg Vrieling, he won the World Team title back in 2014 with the Netherlands. He took the Olympic silver. That was with Video Boubalou in London's Games of 2012, and Elwal Dushabu will start us into action.
Presented by Prix Seguros, the sponsor for this class. First on course today for the Netherlands,
This Grand Prix presented by GNP Seguros. Thank you to them for their support of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix at Mexico City. And as we get away, 84 seconds, the time allowed. Yeah, brilliant, will show us the way with this very smart bay. Dushabu opens up out over the GNP Oxa. Square up to the Mercedes-Benz Oxa at 2. Two big Oxas to open up the account here from Anderson Lima. This horse nicely up in Yeo's hand, looks relaxed and composed, however galvanised for the huge test that lies ahead. This, the Guitars triple bar, 2 meters wide. The Dole's vertical, massive again, 162. Yeah, that makes a little late adjustment, a little half halt we call it in equestrian sport, into the first technical combination. Pays off beautifully in 7 strides, down to the Oxa, over the water, the Liverpool. He has it down, I'm afraid, first blemish. The Banorte plank, that will cause problems, you know it. And the flip cup, so a horizontal slip surface which will take the lightest of touches, and it's another error, I'm afraid, for Yeo's Vrilling into the Longines treble combination, and now 3, no 4, clocking up at a rate, I'm afraid. Yeo's Vrilling wheels into the penultimate fence here. The skinny, massive it is at 163, and then down to the final fence, which also goes. The riders certainly had a lot of respect for this course, having chatted to a few of them prior to their warm-ups, and that is a fair reflection of what we had been guided towards from our riders who voiced their opinions. They're quite quiet-mannered in these sort of critical moments prior to warming up, but certainly there's a huge amount of respect for the course of Anderson Lima this afternoon, and that is reflected. The Prix scored 20 penalties for Yeo's Vrilling and Elwal Dushabu, the trailblazer of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix at Mexico City.
No clear round for Yeo's Vrilling, I'm afraid. It means that there will be no jump off for him here today in the Campo Marte. Sasha Nugard-Lil is in the ring, the second rider about to get underway. If you want to join us here in Mexico City for the next rest of the riders, come and do so with the GCTV Live Pass. We'll see you in Mexico City. Come join us.